Hello everyone, this is Jose32 back again with another video. I wanted to do a video on the top 5 playing card companies, playing card manufacturers in the world today, to my knowledge, based on the quality of the custom decks. So it's gonna, I mean, I could make a much bigger list if I was gonna look at all the companies like Fournier and Grimaud and Cam and WJ Printing and etc. But I'm gonna keep it mainly for companies that specifically do a lot of custom decks and a lot of Kickstarter decks. Companies that you should be familiar with if you watch the videos on my channel. So, starting off, number 5 on the list is Noir Arts. Noir Arts, aka NPCC, I guess they call it NPCC, is based out of Europe, out of the Ukraine, and the quality of playing cards are pretty decent. It seems to change with every project, with every deck they print, which is kind of strange. For me, the best quality decks they produced was the Defunctorum decks that they did earlier on Kickstarter. Those were close to USPC type quality deck. Since then, the quality's been a little bit, not so good. It's kind of a hit or miss. Sometimes it's the stock, sometimes it's the finish. They're not horrible. They handle pretty good, and the tuck cases and everything usually very nice with foil and embossing. So they're pretty good. And number 4 on the list is MPC, Make Playing Cards, at makeplayingcards.com. The other one was Noir Arts. I'll put links in the description. MPC, of course, they've done a lot of decks for Kickstarter projects. They put out their own decks, the Impressions decks, and whatnot. They're the first ones, I think, to, at least in recent times, and for custom decks, to do foil stamping on the cards. They were also the first ones to do the Impressions stuff, the spot UV ink, whatever it is exactly, I'm not 100% sure. And now other companies are doing that. Now USPC has been doing Metalux. Taiwan companies have been doing Metalux, or foil I should say, and they've also been doing the spot UV ink, and they've really started some interesting stuff with that. And the decks, usually they're decent quality. I've gotten lots of prototypes that were produced by them, and they were pretty good quality considering it's a prototype. And most of the decks are decent, and just a little bit better than Noir Arts, I think, as far as handling is concerned and the stock and the finish. Number 3 on the list is the Taiwan playing card trifecta, if you will. Expert playing cards, Legends playing cards, and the Taiwan playing card company, also Hansen Bomb playing cards. I think it's, or is it Hansen Sen? Hansen Sen playing cards, Bomber playing cards. So many companies using this factory, this plant in Taiwan/China to produce decks. Of course, the main ones are Legends playing cards and Expert playing cards. Expert playing cards is associated with Conjuring Arts. They're tied up with them. And Legends playing cards has kind of, done their own thing, built their own little empire. And then more recently, there's been HCPC, which is Hansen Chen playing cards, which had the Chicken Nugget decks and a couple others, I think. And also Bomber playing cards, Bomber PC, which is from bombmagic out in Taiwan. And also there's been some companies just producing them through the company Taiwan playing cards. So it's like 4 or 5 different companies all putting their decks in Taiwan, all using different company names, and all kind of using different names for the stocks and finishes. Some don't even really specify the stocks and finishes, but most of the decks are really nice quality. They handle good, they look good for the most part. I mean, some of them, when you get into like your smooth finishes, That could be better. And I also will say that when they produce them in China, the quality is definitely not on par with the Taiwan quality decks. I mean, I'm not trying to say that everything made in China or every deck made in China is not good, but theirs have been kind of consistently fitting the made in China model. I will say that some of the cards from like Bomb Magic, like the Vigor playing cards, good quality. The Superior brand decks have all been pretty good, especially like the Robusto ones at the Robusto stock. It was thick, but it was good. And some of the ones like the Lux brand decks that JP Playing Cards has done, good quality as well. I like those ones. So the decks are all, generally pretty good quality. It depends on the stock and finish though. Like if it's a smoother finish, it may not be so good. Like the early NOC decks that they did were not so good. The side opening tuck cases have been a little bit and there's always been issues with the tuck cases that they do because they have a flap in the bottom. So you stick the cards in, you always get one or two that don't want to go in. USPC has no flaps, so they don't have that issue. So, there's definitely things they can improve on. For the most part, it's really good. Nice embossings and foils on the decks and the tuck cases. Next up, number 2 is Carnamunde. Carnamunde has gone up to number 2 because they're the most improved company currently for the year, anyways. Definitely the most improved company. The DMC Elites that I use, the Ruse ones. I'm not sure of the original DMC Elites because I never got them that I can recall. But DMC Elites and Ruse, the red ones, they handle pretty good and nice stock and finish. Even better is the Butterfly decks that I got recently from Indiegogo. Very good quality, very nice stock and finish. They handle beautifully. I was really impressed with that, so they definitely moved up the list, way up the list. Definitely quite improvement from if you have ever handled the Ace Authentic decks over Blackjack brand decks. This is definitely an improvement, and you should definitely check out those Butterfly decks or the upcoming Purple Raven decks from Caroline Raven and Lorenzo. And yeah, I like it. I'm very happy with what they're doing. I'm happy they're finally competing, and it's just going to be good for playing cards. Now we've got, for creators on Kickstarter and different Magic sites and card sites, they've now got more choices. They got the Taiwan factories, they've got USPC, they got Cardamundi, they got NPC. It's good. Choices are good. Speaking of which, number 1, of course, TM Cards in India. No, just kidding. It's definitely not TM Cards in India. They're at the bottom of the list. Actually, I don't know what company it was in China that produced the Divine Art decks, but that was a pretty good deck. But it's not a known company. It was never specified who it was, but they did a good job. The number 1 company, of course, unsurprisingly, is the USPC. Consistently good decks, good quality decks, nice stocks and finishes, excellent tuck cases. I will say about the Legends and Expert company, they actually do have tuck cases that are synthetic, they're plastic, so they're not going to tear, they're not going to crimp or bend or damage or anything like that. That's very good. USPC, they've always consistently put out good decks, whether it's, custom playing cards or just standard decks. They consistently work with some of the biggest companies like Illusionist and Theory 11 and Dan and Dave put out decks, and David Blaine, and etc. etc. And obviously these companies use USPC for a reason, and I don't think that any of them have used Taiwan playing card company for any decks to my knowledge. And a lot of other creators on Kickstarter have gone to the Taiwan companies, but I think it says something when the biggest companies like Illusionist, Theory 11, and David Blaine have not done that. And I'm sure that they've handled decks made in Taiwan, have decks made in Taiwan, but they haven't gone that route. And I think that says something. So, I mean, USPC, the bicycle brand, is the biggest brand in the playing card world. If I was to look at brands, I'm trying to think of 5 brands. Okay, let's say like MPC as a brand would be number 5. Trying to think of here. Okay, MPC would be number 1 if we did that as a brand, because they have their own branded decks. It's hard to say. Legends probably need to be number 4. That's from Legends Playing Cards. I haven't really thought about this. I got 5 in mind. You know what? Let's do this. Okay. NPC is number 5. Number 4 will be the Superior brand from Expert Playing Cards, because they've done, a fair amount of decks, and they've done a lot. They've had the Superior brand decks now for a while. They got the Skull and Bones and whatnot, and more recently the Jackson Robinson, the other Jackson Robinson ones, of which I don't remember the name, unfortunately. But they've all kind of been more or less along the same thing. Number 3 on the list would be the Lux Playing Cards from JP Playing Cards. It's a nice brand. They've done 3 or 4 back designs now. They all look very nice. Handle nice, they look nice. They're printed by the Taiwan companies. Legends, I believe. Could be wrong. But it's still a brand that's growing and young, if you will. Number 2 is the Legends brand, because they've actually, done more than just the standard type decks that Expert Playing Cards has done with Superior brand, including the Day of the Dead deck and Persian themed decks, and they've done several Legend branded decks. You can see them all on their website. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. And of course, the number 1 brand, of course, Bicycle by USPC, because of course they've done the biggest variety of decks. There's so many Bicycle branded decks out there for all sorts of different companies, Kickstarter decks, Magic companies, advertising decks like the 7-Eleven deck I'm getting soon, and etc. Promotional decks. It's huge. It's a massive brand. So that is that. It's like a top 5 of the printing companies and top 5 of the card brands. And let me know what you think. I'll see you next time with more. Comment, rate, subscribe. Check out collectibleplayingcards.com. Use the code VJose32. If I saw someone. Use the code VJose32. Save 10% on your order. Comment, rate, subscribe. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about those lists, and I'll see you next time.